college football has gone bananas, and not in a good way. It has sold out everything, sold its soul. Let's have teams from the West Coast play in the Midwest and play in the Big Ten. Whatever they want to do, they just don't care. They've wrecked traditions. They've wrecked rivalries. Andy, anything goes because television is paying money. And I mean, I don't. If you're a college football fan, and Andy, we grew up in New York, no college football, right?
Exactly.
But we've lived all over, and you know that there's certain rivalries. I lived in Michigan for 20 years. Michigan, Ohio State, all that kind of stuff, and how much people are into college football. You know, you've lived all over in Cincinnati.
Oh, I lived in Oklahoma. Jeez.
You know, right? You know what that's all about.
Yeah.
But here, Lincoln Riley just knocked my socks off today. I mean, this comment, which basically, I want you to hear this, and then we'll discuss.
I would love to. I would love to. I know it means, a lot to a lot of people, and so the purist in you, no doubt. Now, if you get in a position where you got to make a decision on what's best for SC to help us win a national championship versus keeping that, shoot. Then you got to look at it. I mean, and listen, we're not the first example of that. Look all the way across the country. There's been a lot of other teams sacrifice rivalry games. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but, as we get into this playoff structure and if it changes or not, we get in this new conference, we're going to learn some about this as we go and what the right and the best track is, to winning a national championship.
And what he said, Andy, was he would be willing to forego the rivalry with Notre Dame for a chance to win a national championship. Can you imagine Notre Dame and USC not playing? Andy, there's one thing that college football has that I think that the powers that be are trampling over, and that's tradition.
You have games that
Hold on.
Door. Oh, man.
And tradition is important to me.
I'm with you. I mean, the backyard barnstorming games, the Penn State, West Virginia games, the rivalries. How many rivalries are there right now? There's Ohio State, Michigan, where they have to play because they're in the same league. And you got, Army, Navy. First of all, this guy coaching USC, Lincoln Riley, is a fool. He's a fool, and the fact that he talked about it tells me he's probably going to do it. That's number one. Number two, with more games, more teams invited to postseason tournament play this year, they'll have 12 teams, you can afford a second loss, maybe even a third. So play it for the alumni's sake, for the school's sake, for college football's sake. USC has to play Notre Dame. And for him to even talk about that is a disgrace to the school, to the program, and to college football in general. And if I was the athletic director at USC, I'm calling him in my office and say, look, coach the game, shut your mouth. I'm handling the schedule, not you. Isn't Lincoln Riley the same clown who didn't talk to the media after several losses last year?
Absolutely.
Right. But now he's doing some talking. Now he's talking.
I'm with you. And if you're, doesn't that rivalry date back to the 20s, the 1920s?
I think 1926.
1926.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, think about that, Andy. That you see how flip he was? Well, if it means they have a chance to win a national championship, we'll do whatever it takes. Well, Notre Dame, hell with it. I know people wouldn't like it, but to hell with Notre Dame. Really? Like USC Notre Dame wouldn't mean jack to them. It is unbelievable. Andy, why is everything for sale and why are people so quick to sell everything? Can I tell you this?
Yeah.
I love the Yankees and the Dodgers for two reasons. No, for one reason, I love both of those teams for one reason. Where do they play? Yankee Stadium and Dodger Stadium. Andy, tell me the Yankees and the Dodgers couldn't get $1 gazillion from American Express or some big company to rename their stadiums.
You're exactly right. They didn't sell their soul.
They left money on the table, didn't
right.
they? The Yankee Stadium could be American Express Stadium tomorrow.
You're exactly right. And you know what college football has done? They've defined gerrymandering at its best. That's basically what they do. You got teams from the West Coast playing in the ACC. The whole thing is screwed up. It's crazy. But they did it for one reason and one reason only. Gelt. The green cabbage. Money. When you have a question to ask in sports, it always reverts back to the money. And you hit it on the head with the TV money. It's all about the money. But the game is going south now. It's going south. It's crazy. Every space is sold. Every name on the field. Every signage. It's ridiculous. It's crazy. And there's more games. There's more teams. The 12 teams are getting into the tournament right now. And again, you could tell us to Lincoln Riley, you can lose 2 or 3 games and still get into that tournament. You can.
But that's where we are. It's been dummied down.
Right.
Let's put everybody in. Let's make it a smorgasbord. Andy, can we talk about how bad the college football playoffs has been with 4 teams? How many great games have you seen, Andy? Because I haven't seen many. They're usually blowouts. They're terrible games leading up to the championship game and the championship game.
Give out the participation trophies. You're giving out the participation trophies. That's what they're doing. Crazy. I mean, I don't get it, but I tell you, I'd like to see the feedback and the pushback the fans and the alums at USC are going to be doing in the next 48 hours at what he has said today. I want to see what happens there. I want to see what Notre Dame has to say. I mean, really, Marcus Freeman, the coach of Notre Dame, he's got to come out and say, wait a minute, this is a tremendous rivalry. It has to be played. Where's Notre Dame on this? They got to have a statement.
Yeah. It is amazing, and even Notre Dame, they've always had their own NBC television contract and deal, so they've always been ahead of the curve on this, and that's why they didn't want to be in any conference.
Right.
They're making their own money hand over fist. We got it. They have a big following nationally, right? They travel well. Notre Dame's always been in that. But I cannot get over where we are in college football, and I don't know how anybody is loving this or think this is great. Like that, as you said, these schools with 2 and 3 losses that are going to go to the championship. And then who was it? The Nebraska coach, Matt Rule, who just said, did you hear this, Andy, the other day, that the Big Ten should automatically have 4 teams in the automatically, as if you don't have to play for anything. Well, we're a big conference. We have all these schools, so we should have 4 entries no matter what into the college football.
And they're saying that, you know why? To protect their rear ends for their job. That's why they do it, because there's so much pressure on these guys to win right now. That's why Lincoln Riley says something like that. You know that he already canceled at the Ole Miss game. You know, USC is supposed to play Ole Miss this year and next year, and he said the game was canceled, but he said it was in the works. He canceled that. He's full of it. He canceled. He didn't want to play Ole Miss. He didn't.
It's amazing, and the fans have no recourse. This is all they have. If you're in one of these college towns, Andy, what do you have? You look forward to, right? 5, 6 Saturdays in the fall. That's all you have. Come on, dude.
So are we going to see more of the big-time schools playing like Alabama does when they play Austin Peay, when they play the minor schools, the Division I AA schools? Is that what they're going to do now to fatten their schedule up and get wins? Is that what they're doing right now? I don't know what direction they're going to go in.
Big time. I was up at the Big House at Michigan, the early part of the schedule where they pad their record, play some terrible schools, right?
Right.
People got to pay to go see that. People are walking, streaming out by halftime. Just a waste of time and energy, right? And now, along with that, you would put up for that to be able to have your rivalry games and things that matter. And now that's all being stripped away from college football fans for the almighty dollar. When is enough enough? Why does everything have to be for sale? I just can't. Everything, Andy, everything is for sale. Why not sell a position on the team? Let some rich kid pay $3 million to be a walk-on at Alabama. Is that so? Some
That's
rich
next.
Dad, is that next? Yeah. Why not?
It's next. I mean,
we got 90 kids, right? 40 who don't even see the field. Why not? Put them on a team. Let's put $3 million and we'll give them a uniform.
You covered sports for a while. Did you ever live to see the day you dreamed that we'd see NIL? that players would get paid. No, I think they deserve to get paid, but I think that what they did, they didn't realize the gates that they opened, the floodgates, because I don't think it's proper what they're doing.
No, I agree, considering what they've done, and how it came about. But again, if the colleges, they want to control NIL, right, Andy? Mm-hmm. But they're not paying. The colleges still refuse to pay. How can you legislate something you're not dishing out? You're not handing out any money.
They have hired people. They have hired staffers to go out there and bang on the doors of alums and businesses to pay these kids. But they won't pay them.
They won't pay them. If they would have paid them and figured out a system, it would be totally different. But they refuse to pay them. They want to use the kids up, use their bodies, use their playing ability to make money off these kids. It's terrible. All right, Rob Parker, Andy Furman, in for Chris Broussard, talking about college football, the idea that maybe USC is going to give up the rivalry with Notre Dame because they would rather have a chance to win a national championship if it helps them out better than playing a rivalry game. Where are you? 877-99 on Fox, and I'm sure there are plenty of people who want to talk about this.
Yeah, and you know what, Rob? You learn something every single day. I had no idea that they had telephone service in South Dakota. Really. Greg in South Dakota, you're on The Odd Couple. What do you got, Greg?
Yes, thanks for taking my call, guys. And yes, we do have phones. We still use a little telegraph out here now and then. But, hey, I just want to say that the 12-team playoff is good for college football, because it creates a little bit of an extension of the possibility of seeing some of those rivalries get to play, even if it's in the playoff instead of the regular season. But overall, giving up your rivalry in the regular season would be awful. That'd be terrible. I want to see USC and Notre Dame play. I've been watching them since I was a kid.
Wait, Greg, don't you think the 12 teams waters down the playoff format?
Right.
Don't you think it waters it down?
Are there really 12 teams that are really viable to win the national championship? Because we haven't seen it in the semis. We haven't seen it in the championship. They're usually lopsided games decided by double digits, Andy. They're awful games.
I agree. I don't want to see Northwestern as one of the 12 teams, okay? That's all I'm saying. I don't want to see Vanderbilt in the top 12. I don't want to see that. It shouldn't be that way.
99 on 5. Thanks for the call. Appreciate it.
All right. Mike in North Carolina. You're on The Odd Couple. What do you got, Mike?
What's up, Andy? What's up, Rob?
How are you?
I'm good, man. Want to talk about some college football. First, Rob, man, don't always trash on Brady so much. Come on, man. Give him some credit sometimes.
I'm just talking about the facts. I'm just giving you the facts. I don't know. Did Tom Brady get suspended for cheating? I'm asking you. Yes or no?
No, I love to hear you talk, man.
All right.
He just put too much air in a ball. That's all he did. Jeez.
Yeah. But a lot of that was some ESPN crap, but that's all, you know. But as far as college football, with this NIL, now that they're officially being paid, we've known they've been being paid for years. What bothers me is this Christian McCaffrey bull BS of shutting out of bowl games. Now, even if it's like the Frito-Lay Bowl, like, where did this end as far as sitting out?
I got to say this. I don't blame kids for playing in a meaningless bowl game. Now, no kid, Andy, in their right mind is going to sit out the national championship game because they have a chance to go to the NFL.
I'm not sure it won't get there. I'm not sure.
But Mark, you don't have to worry. You fellas don't have to worry about that at all, because now with the expanded playoffs of 12 teams, the bowls are going to go away. Bowls are meaningless now. Forget about the bowls.
Bowls don't matter. And now also, Andy, in this expanded playoffs, right? Now more kids are saying, you know what? I'm not playing in another game, right, with a chance of getting hurt at some point.
Right. I don't blame
what
them.
They're doing.
And Christian McCaffrey's not the only one. He kind of started the precedent, but I don't blame him. You wouldn't do it either, Mark. You got a multi-million-dollar contract laying in front of your face, and you go in a bowl game, which means nothing, and you break your leg. Come on.
Who was the kid? Butts at Michigan? What was his kid? Jake Butt, right?
Right. Okay. Yeah.
He got hurt.
Yes, he did.
He got hurt in a meaningless bowl game. Before the draft. That's why you got to be very careful about it.
Well, it's the same thing with the NFL players. They don't play in the preseason. Those are meaningless games. You know, and they'll use the excuse saying that they're using it to evaluate talent. The coaches are. No, they're not going to play their starting quarterbacks in those games for fear of getting injured because those games mean nothing. And that's why eventually they're going to get rid of those games, have an 18-game schedule because those preseason games mean nothing. Remember, there's no preseason games in college. There's no exhibition games in college.
There is. It's the first 4 games they play. That's the preseason.
It really is. You're right. For some schools it is.
877-99 on Fox.
Mark in Sacramento. You're on the Odd Couple with Rob Parker. Hey, what do you got?
What's going on, guys? Hey, Rob, how you doing, man?
What's up, Mark? How are you?
Pretty good. Hey, real quick, when this topic came up, the first thing I thought of, and I said this to Rob G., is that in the last 10 years or so, I think rivalries across sports have been killed because of television and money. And I go back to baseball with me. When they came up with interleague play, it killed a whole lot of rivalries. And I think rivalries started to die across sports. That's just me. That's how I look at it.
I hear you. Here's my only thing, though. College football, there's only one, you only got 6 home games. I mean, or whatever it is, you alternate with Notre Dame. Notre Dame and USC not playing? Mark, that doesn't bother you?
For shame. For shame.
No, I didn't say it didn't bother me. I'm just saying that's what has happened. That's what's happened. And to see that's one of the last ones left that may die.
Well, wait a minute. Oklahoma State. When I lived in Oklahoma, that was a big deal, Oklahoma State. They're not playing each other anymore.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They're dying everywhere.
Right.
They're dying everywhere. That's my point. You guys have a great one.
Thanks, Mark. Appreciate it. 877- 99 on Fox.
He brings up an interesting point there. What it is, the fact that you talk about rivalries, the only sport that really continues the rivalry is baseball. I mean, every time you turn on the TV, it's Yankees-Red Sox. Think about that. There's the rivalry.
And the last Yankees-Red Sox, they did well in the ratings. The game.
Yeah, they did.
They did. They rated the game. People wanted to see it.